We can't forget the magnet mount. Have to have that. Welcome back, everybody, on the field again. And best thing about the magnet mount, you can put it wherever you need to. Worst thing about the magnet mount, you'll forget where you put it. We're back on the field today, and we are revisiting the rock crusher. And it's quite fitting because this happens to be October 5th at the time that I'm recording this. And this is the 1-year anniversary of this rock crusher being offloaded from Rick Bork's trailer and landing on this property. So it takes a couple of days typically to get all this stuff rolling on all the feeds, so you'll see it much later than this, but it's been here for a year. And I still get a lot of questions on this. The main one is, when are you going to go back to the rock crusher? And don't get me wrong, I want to. I really want to. But as you all know, my projects list is pretty comprehensive, as it is. And I guess the real story with the rock crusher is, it's a project that I've always wanted, but it was not one that I was looking to acquire at the time that I did. It was one of those opportunity deals where this came up on an auction about 20 minutes away from here, so it was very local, and I ended up getting it very cheap. So you need to pounce on those opportunities when they present themselves. Therefore, I really don't know exactly when I'm going to get to it, because I already had, like I said before, quite a list of projects lined up anyway. Lots of irons in the fire. This just happened to be add to the come on, dude, talk. This just happened to add to the list. So I would like to get it soon. Let's just start over. Whew. Okay, I think I can talk now. I would like to get to it sooner rather than later, that being said, but I have a feeling it's going to be later that I actually get around to it. But I've been up here from time to time just trying to lubricate some of the critical points. It still does not turn. We might work on that a little bit here today, and we'll just go around it a little bit and do some kind of more in-depth assessing to its condition. I know it's got some issues in some places. It looks good in other places. It was high time we get back to this and at least do a little bit more of a walk around to it, tinker with it a little bit. This fits in well with my eye recovery restrictions, because we're really not going to do anything super heavy duty on it today, and we're not going to blast sparks and create dust and do all this other stuff, and there's nothing on it that's sharp enough to poke my eye. So it's all around perfect. So looking at all of the major oil compartments, I've had these small boards weighted down with these small stones over covering these for the last year, and from time to time excuse me, I'll come up and throw some diesel fuel in these compartments here. This one actually is open enough that it runs right out there right after I throw diesel fuel in, so we're going to throw some oil in there today, something a little bit thicker, and let that start migrating around. This one I see has been going down as well. This one's dry, which is a good sign. This one's locked up tight. That diesel's been in there for 6 weeks now, has not moved a bit, but encouraging signs on those locations. So let's get some oil on those real quick. And this is the perfect stuff. I dug this out of Senior's old shack. It says it was XHD 30 at one time, Pro Power, but now he's got 1540 written on it. So this is mystery oil, perfect for the rock crusher. Rock crusher's not going to care. It's gonna eat it all right up. So we'll start with the compartment that I know is wide open, and we'll get a good look at this as it runs out. Oh, it looks nice and clean. Yeah, could be about like a 1540. I'll go ahead and fill it right up too. This is not going to run out as fast as the diesel does, but we'll monitor it, see if it starts going down. I'll leave this one. That's all locked up. Doesn't pay to try to do anything with it. We'll fill the other upper one here. Good stuff. And finally, the other main shaft compartment. You can't go full on this one, because part of the casting is cracked away right there. So we just give that one just a little bit of a shot, otherwise it'll run right out the side of it. And around the side here, we've got this rather large pivot shaft down here, and I know we've got some clearance here. You can see it right there. So I don't think this one's going to be stuck, but I want to get some lubrication in there, and I believe that's what this fitting is for. I think there used to be a tube up on here. I've never put anything into those passages. It looks rather clean in there, and there's one on the other side too. Yeah, right here. Let's see. Yeah, it moves. No wrench required. Open this one up too. Yeah, there we go. Let's put some oil down both of those as well. And this is where I should have brought a funnel. Darn it. We'll do the best we can. You know the old saying, prior planning prevents YouTube videos like this one. We're doing all right. I'm going to fill it right up too. Still taking it. Still taking it. Oh, there we go. I was just going to say we should look and make sure it's not running out on the ground somewhere. Okay, so that's full with the top. We'll go do the other side and come back to this and see if it's dropped at all. We'll do the same thing over here. Oh, that happened fast. Okay, a little more controlled this time. Yeah, this is taking quite a bit as well. And we're full. Perfect. What do I hear? Block that sun glare. Senior's here. This is deer stand day. He's got a couple deer stands he's going to put out, so he'll be out and about having fun. So while that sits there and thinks about it for a bit, plans for placing the rock crusher. So my large old farmstead rock pile is right here, and it is a big rock pile. We've walked this before. It goes all the way beyond those basswoods and extends clear out to there. So my thoughts are to remove this topsoil pile. I dozed this up here when I was doing the clearing for the pole barn machine shed building pad over there. This topsoil pile will leave. We need to do some contouring here, and a considerable amount of this will be taken up that way, some landscaping and what have you, but I want to place the rock crusher, I'm thinking, in this area here, kind of near where that little bur oak tree is growing. So we can feed right from this center pile into the rock crusher. I will then have a fairly abrupt cut drop off, similar to what is right here. Like I said, this is getting landscaped out. That pile's going away, but the cut is going to come back in here quite a ways so that the rock crusher will have the outlet feed, just allowing the crushed material to fall down there where it can then be scooped out with a bucket loader. So we've got plenty of feed for it right here. This is a don't walk on the old barbed wire, dude. Chicken wire. This is a rock pile that was built over the last 100 years, ever since this land was cleared and it became a farm. Don't even know how old a lot of that tangled wire is, but it's old. So we will have plenty of stone to throw into that thing without having to go looking for it. I mean, we're still walking this. It's been here so long, there's brush growing out of it. It goes over there about another 20 feet. You can see all the fresher stuff right there. That's the stuff that I've been putting into it, aside from all the stone that I picked that I parked the Cat 20 on. So a lot of people have asked about conveyors. For me, this is a toy. So I'm hoping that sun is not disturbing you guys too badly. I don't have very good depth perception, so I really have to watch my way off this pile. But it's a toy. It's not going to be a production tool, so I'm just going to feed stones in by hand. At least that's the plan as of right now. And anything that comes out the tail end of it, it's not going to be that much material to have to cope with that I can't come in with the tractor, scoop it out. I've got a lot of uses for some crushed stone around here. Most of them are going to be fill purposes, but I think it's going to be a very useful addition to the property. And if for some reason we do get rid of that entire rock pile, I have another one about the same size on that end of the field, and I have a third one similar sized on the far end of the field. Lifetime supply of rocks plus. Let's see how our oil's doing. We've dropped. It's went down right here, so I'm hoping to see something coming out here. All right, check the other side. Yep, it's dropped too, about the same amount, so that's encouraging. We know that those passages at least are open. Still dry all around though. Now for all the cobbled on items, a lot of these old bent bolts, these are just getting torched right off. It's all loose piece of, looks like a pipe that somebody hammered flat under there. That's getting torched off. Same with these. I don't know what these were for, but being that they're old square head units, they have the same kind of paint scheme as the rest of it. They've been on there a while. They may have held some sort of a like an inlet hopper feeder thing. I'm not sure. That one's been broken off. Bottom end of it sticks out down here. All this old mesh, which may have been in place to prevent stones from shooting back out. It's hard to say. Or maybe it just helped to choke down the amount of material it was feeding in. I don't know, but all that's coming off because it's been so beat up. This is one of the old covers for the oil hoppers, and you can see they had converted it to a grease fitting style, and these were supposed to be liquid oil, so that was one of the old covers for that. Another old pipe from one of those. I still haven't figured out if there's a lube point for this upper shaft. It looks like we've got a set screw that possibly is holding that from turning. Open hole there, beat up bolt there. On the other side, there is no hole in this cap, so there's no provision for anything. Every one of the bolts that sticks out on this is just beat right over. It's almost like it's got like a tar kind of asphalt build up on it. Yeah, it's hard to say because you look down here, this piece of belting was to keep material out of some of the workings. It's got a lot of old dried grease on it. If you lift this up, yeah, we've got more of it in here. It's like, and maybe that's just gravel combined with old dried up oil. It's hard to say, but I'm not really sure what all's going on in here. Looks like we got a V block, goes into a shimmed receptacle seat, pushes on the jaw. This ring with the rod is on the return springs. That's what, here's that rod, and then there's your giant return spring. Rod goes forward corresponding to the other side. And no oil coming out here yet. Another beat up bolt, and nothing on this looks exactly tight for all the clearance that's between everything. Actually though, we've got some buildup on this jaw plate here, which doesn't look horrible. This one's a little bit worn down, but it's serviceable, plenty good enough to try. Cheek plates don't look too bad. That's all a plus. But here's the worst part of the whole machine. You can see where they have put some shims between the main shaft and the flywheel. And of course, this is the drive side flywheel. It's had the pulley on it, and the gib key should not have been that wide. You can tell that gib key has been wallowed out, and I think they just started making special keys that were wider and wider to go in. It should be more square like this one. And I think they even got some shimming going on over here, but I have not been able to get any play out of this flywheel to the shaft, which seems to be a common thing on all these old rock crushers because of the hammering whoomp motion of these. They would end up loosening the flywheels on the main shaft. But here's the worst part of this one. It's very loose. Watch this. That is how loose this flywheel is on the main shaft. The main shaft is not moving. That's considerable. All right, we've got oil that is seeping around a little bit. Let's see if we can initiate some movement in here. I've got this large bar, and I picked it because it's dull. It doesn't have any sharp points on it. I don't want to mar up this surface of the shaft right here, because there's a large Babbitt bearing under this top piece that contacts that shaft. So I don't want to put any burrs on anything, but let's just see if we can. Here, let's hook it like that. There we are. Oh yeah. We've got some movement there, and I see we've got a little bit of oil. I think it's seeped down. It's getting between the eccentric roller on the main shaft and this upper one. So I can tell this stuff is heavy though. Lots of weight there, but that does move. All right, everybody, I can't lie. It's getting the best of me. I've never been able to turn this by hand. I'm going to try it with the bar. Let's put a little bit of leverage on it. This web here looks plenty stout. I doubt I'm going to break it. And we can go all the way out here on the spoke, maximum leverage on the shaft. Let's just see. Oh, look at that. That's the first time I've ever seen that move. Interesting. Let's see. Can I get a purchase down here? Yep. It's getting easier all the time, actually. This begs the question, though. How far do I really want to rotate this? Should we just stop right now? Now that we've got movement, we know that's going to possibly open up those oil passages a little bit more. Let some more oil seep in, get everything lubricated. If we've got a dirty bearing and shaft in here, Babbitt gets mighty angry if you've got any kind of rust or any kind of heavy deposits like that that get scraped right through it. Nope, I say the heck with this. We're doing it. It's moving easier all the time, really. I really don't think we're going to hurt anything by spinning it around. Okay, that got a little bit grindy there. Just feel it out. No, I think what I was hearing is the bar on the face of that pulley. Definitely gets easier when we go back with it. It's pretty easy right there. It even freewheels just a little bit. See that? I noticed though, this top shaft is not turning. This one, that has not moved yet. So we won't go too far. I don't want to flat spot that. That just gives you problems. But I think I saw a little air bubble just come up in the oil right there. This will help to circulate the oil in that main shaft though. Look at that. We just broke the seal on the diesel. The diesel just went down from up here. What I did was put the bar in here and I lifted this roller shaft off of the main shaft so that I could put this rock under it and keep it up off the main shaft so that I could do some spinning, and that was just enough. We finally broke the seal. So we are moving right along today. All right, same thing with the other side now. That's oil coming down. I just swapped the rock to over here, and apparently that's enough to caulk this main shaft off of the bearing caps just enough. You can actually get some positive seepage going on. Good news. Watch this now. It's moving. We're getting it all freed up little by little. This should not be this much fun. It just is. Well, so here's where we are. We can roll it somewhat by hand. The wind is starting to pick up out here. It was supposed to this afternoon, so audio quality is going to be very poor from here on out, so I think we're about to wrap it. But I can do about 3/4 of a turn, and it still gets tight about the time the eccentric portion of the main shaft starts to roll up and wants to start lifting the mechanism. I could hear the jaws moving a little bit in there, so we still can't do a full revolution, but we are a lot further ahead right now than where we were when we started off today. So I'll cover all these oil compartments again. I'll leave the oil in all of them. I feel a lot better going into winter that we have a good layer of lubrication between most everything, and this is going down considerably. So I know we're starting to go into that. This one will. It's dropped a little bit. These two on the side, yeah, that one's went down about 1 inch. We'll cover this back up here so we don't get any water in there, and do the same thing over here. This one's dropped, oh boy, it's down to about here. So we don't have anything coming out yet, but it is moving. That's the important part. We've got oil returning to all the critical surfaces, and boy, just the beef in these castings, it's unbelievable. So all right, our major repair is going to be right here to right here coming up, but we'll get it all turning and moving first. Thank you for watching, everyone. As far as we're going to get on it right now, I'll leave this sit for a few days, and weather permitting, I'll come back out and we'll give it another try. I would like to get it so I could at least do a full revolution on it before winter. So this has been Rock Crusher Revisited. Being down with this eye recovery has allowed me time to get to some of these more interesting and obscure projects. Thank you for the watch minutes. Thank you for the channel support, and I hope to see you all back again.